You know how to save money, but do you know how to save time? There's a kind of person who never wastes a single minute, but somehow ends up wasting their whole life. Follow Daniel's story and see if you're like him too. In a small city, squeezed between a river running down from the hills and narrow, winding streets, lived a man named Daniel. People called him hardworking. Some even said, if effort made you rich, Daniel would be a millionaire. He woke up before the sun. Every day, the same alarm, the same cold floor, the same rushed coffee. Mornings, full-time job at a small office. Nights, bike delivery shifts. Weekends, little repair jobs at neighbors' houses. His pockets were never full, but his schedule always was. When friends invited him to a birthday or a simple walk in the park, he always said the same thing: not now. I need to make money first. I'll have time later. But that later never came, because every time life handed him a free hour, he found a way to fill it with more work. Daniel was proud of it. He'd look at people sitting on benches, chatting slowly, and think, they don't get it. Time is money. I can't just stand still and waste any. But there was something he never said out loud. Even in his deepest thoughts, he wouldn't admit that even. Working like that, the money never seemed enough. Rent, bills, pharmacy, unexpected problems. He believed the only way out was to work more. One night, after a double shift, Daniel got home, with aching legs and burning eyes. His mom handed him a cup of tea. "You're late again," she said softly. "I'm just trying to catch up," he replied, dropping his backpack on the floor. She looked at him closely. "Son, when was the last time you sat down without checking the clock?" Daniel laughed. "When we're safe, I'll rest. For now, I don't have that luxury." She wanted to argue. Instead, she just said, "Be careful. You don't spend your whole life buying a freedom you'll never use." Daniel kissed her forehead and went to bed, thinking people who didn't worry about money just didn't understand. Days turned into months. The city kept moving, and Daniel kept running inside it. His body got used to being tired. His mind got used to racing. One night, during a delivery, it started raining. Not a light drizzle, but the kind that hits the street like little stones. He checked the app. More orders, more money, he thought. He pushed himself, pedaled harder, just one more delivery. The last one of the night. At a corner, the light turned red. Rain pounded his raincoat visor. Visibility was low, and he decided to cross anyway. He didn't see the car coming. He didn't even hear the brakes screeching through the night. The backpack flew. Daniel fell. When he woke up, he was in a hospital bed, leg in a cast. Sharp pain shooting through his body every time he tried to move. The doctor was blunt. "You'll need weeks of rest, maybe months. No long walks, no bike, no heavy work." Daniel stared at the ceiling, hearing the harshest words of his life. Stay still, do nothing. How could he? He who prided himself on not wasting a single minute. He sighed deeply and sank into the pillow, trying to accept it. A thought started circling his mind. The result of his life was right there. He'd worked every minute to avoid exactly this, being forced to stop. And now, all those years saying yes to overtime left him in the same spot as someone who'd never worked. His mom came to visit, carrying a small bag of clothes and a worried look. "Don't worry," he said, forcing a smile. "As soon as I can stand, I'll find another job." She sat beside him and said, "That's what scares me, son. You learned to sell your time, but you never learned to build something that keeps growing when you stop." Her words cut deeper than the pain in his leg. For the first time, Daniel had nothing to fill his hours. No shifts, no deliveries, no escaping his own thoughts. Days in bed felt like years. He watched videos, read random stuff, tried to distract himself, until one afternoon, a message popped up on his phone. It was Lucas, an old friend from school. "Hey, heard about the accident? How you holding up?" They chatted a bit. After some memories and jokes, Daniel asked, "And you, still at that job you hated?" Lucas laughed. "Nah, I quit. It was killing me slowly. Now I fix bikes." Daniel smiled. "So you're just like me." His friend's voice got serious. "Not exactly. I don't trade hours for money anymore. I build systems. I train people. I teach. When I'm not working, the money keeps moving." Daniel went quiet, soaking it in. Lucas kept going. "Remember how you always helped neighbors fix their bikes for free? You're good at it. You could have built something with that years ago." "Yeah, but I needed cash fast," Daniel said. "I didn't have time to build anything. And look where no time got you," Lucas said gently, not mean. After a few more minutes, the friends said goodbye. The call ended. But Lucas's words stuck. Daniel stared at his hands that had always been busy, but never building anything that lasted. He thought about all the weekends traded for extra shifts, all the evenings he said later, all the times he chose one more work hour over 1 hour building a different future. He realized something uncomfortable. He treated time just like a lot of people treat money, spending it all on emergencies, never investing a piece in something that could grow. When he finally left the hospital, his legs still hurt and his steps were slow. He went home with a small accident settlement, not enough to change his life, but enough to tempt him back to the old pattern. Use this to survive a few months, then back to the grind. That night, sitting at the kitchen table, his mom put a notebook in front of him. "What's this?" he asked. "A blank page," she said. "The one thing you never gave yourself." He opened it. The paper was empty, but his mind wasn't. With his mom's nudge, ideas started bubbling up in an instant. He remembered Lucas's words, his mom's words, the bikes he fixed for neighbors for free, the kids who watched him, curious, the little satisfaction he felt every time a wheel spun right again. For the first time in years, Daniel asked himself something different. What if I invest time the way I used to invest my body? Not in more work hours, in building something that could live without him. He grabbed a pen and wrote at the top, "Garage Workshop, Plan." The idea was simple, almost too simple, but it was a start. He'd use a few hours, 3 times a week, to teach basic bike repairs to kids and neighbors, record short, clear videos of simple fixes, create guides he could sell or share later, slowly build a name beyond the guy who works non-stop. But then a shadow crossed his eyes. His first instinct was to reject it. It's too slow. I need money now. But then he remembered the settlement. It'd hold him for a bit, enough to test the ideas, and he thought, if not now, when? Suddenly, slow felt better than stuck. He made a deal with himself. Never sell all his time again. A part of every week would be sacred, protected like treasure, not just for rest, but for building. The first Saturday, he could move without pain. He opened the gate to the old garage behind the building. Dust, broken tools, spiderwebs. It didn't look like a business. It looked like a bad idea. Then the kid from next door showed up, pushing a bike, with a loose chain. Can you help? Daniel wanted to say, come back when I'm ready. Instead, he smiled. Come in, I'll show you how. He didn't just fix the bike, he explained every step. Let the kid's hands touch the tools. When the chain finally clicked into place, the boy's face lit up. That was awesome, he said. Can I come back next time with my friends? Daniel nodded. Bring Em. We'll learn together. That night, for the first time, he slept with a different kind of tiredness. His body still ached, but his mind felt bigger. Thoughts and ideas flooded his brain until he fell asleep smiling. Weeks passed. Every Saturday and 2 nights a week, the garage slowly filled up. Kids, teens, even adults showed up with old bikes, questions, and curiosity. Some brought a little cash as thanks. Others brought food. Some just brought attention. Daniel started recording the sessions on his phone, posted short clips, how to fix a flat in 5 minutes, how to adjust brakes with one tool, how to clean and protect your chain. At first, almost no one watched. He kept at it, repeated the explanations, tweaked his delivery to make it better, learned to make everything clearer, simpler, more useful. Meanwhile, he still needed other gigs. Picked up some shifts, but never all of them. Protected workshop hours, like guarding a small flame from the wind. When he talked about future plans, his eyes started to light up. Months later, something quiet shifted. One video got shared by a bigger page. A local school asked him for a quick workshop with students. A small brand offered tools for visibility. He said yes, but not as a guy selling hours. This time, he was making deals, partnerships, expanding, like growing a tree from a seed planted on purpose. Money started coming from places that didn't demand his body hurt. Every second, he still worked, but he was learning a priceless lesson, managing time. Now he wasn't filling days and nights working for others. He was carving out more and more time to invest in himself and his little garage business. One night, after wrapping a class with teens, Daniel sat on the garage steps. The sun was setting. City sounds mixed with kids laughing as they rode their fixed bikes. His mom sat beside him, quiet. You working less? She asked. He thought for a second. I'm working different, he said. Before, every hour died. When it ended, now some hours keep living. She smiled and ran her hand through his hair. That's what I wanted you to see. Saving money is good, but saving time just to sell it all is like storing water in a leaky bucket. He looked at the garage, the tools, the notebooks full of ideas and numbers. It took an accident to make me stop. "Mom," he said, "I wish I'd gotten it sooner." She shook her head gently. "What matters is you're seeing it now. The past is heavy, but the future's light enough to carry if you start small." Later that night, Daniel opened his banking app. The numbers weren't huge, he wasn't rich. But for the first time, the question he had in mind was a different one. It wasn't how many hours do I still need to sell to survive. It was how can I use the hours I have to build something that survives without me. Suddenly, that question he'd never asked before popped up several times a day, and he felt satisfied, more at ease with it each time. People often say, time is money. But Daniel learned a deeper truth. Time is more expensive than money. Lost money, you can sometimes earn back. Lost time never returns. Saving money by working every hour of your life isn't real security. It's just another way to stay poor. True security starts when you decide some of your hours won't be sold anymore. They'll be invested in learning a skill, in building something that grows, in creating systems, relationships, and work that stand when you're forced to sit. So if you feel like Daniel before the accident, running, always too busy to build what could change your life, remember, you don't need 10 free hours a day. You need one protected hour, today, tomorrow, and the next day. Never save just money. Save some of your time, and invest it in what will still stand on the day you're forced to stop running. If you like stories that teach and inspire, like this one, hit like on the video and share it with someone who's spending their life running.